ladies? How are you guys doing? All right, hope everyone was able to sleep well. Yes, okay, great. I hope you guys are ready. This is going to be a power-packed day. So I hope you guys are excited about the awesome women that we have here gathered. I'm just going to start with a quick icebreaker, just to kind of make sure that everyone is loosened up and we're ready for what we're about to receive. So it's going to be just 10 minutes. So we're going to have groups of 3, so just kind of visualize who you want to go with. All right, so this icebreaker is about how would you spend $1 million to impact the world, okay? All right, so this opportunity is for those groups, each of your groups of 3 people, to really discover your passions, dig deep within yourselves, okay? And oftentimes a lot of people, you know, they want to impact the world, but they don't have the resources, the financial resources to do so. So this is an opportunity for you to kind of brainstorm with those that are around you and to see, like, if you had unlimited resources, so to speak. $1 million is not a lot of money in this day and age, but to kind of be creative about how you can use that to really impact the world, maybe your specific groups in your community or just beyond, because people, you know, try to reach out in other parts of the world. So we're going to just take 10 minutes to do this. We're going to spend 3 minutes just to answer your questions amongst yourselves. Then you're going to discuss it with your individual group members, and then you have just 3 minutes to share it. So one person from that group will be able to share with the rest of the group, just very quickly though, so everyone will have about 1 or 2 minutes to kind of share. So make it very juicy, and we're excited to see what you guys come up with.
Good morning, everybody. So our table, we actually didn't give ourselves a name, but our table over there, we came up with a list of things that we definitely would do with $1 million, and I tried to make a list of those things because there were a lot of it was overlapping, so I tried to make a list of those things. One of the things that we decided that we would love to do is host conferences that would teach people on certain topics, either relationships or how to have healthy relationships or build healthy relationships in their lives, or different subject areas. We also touched about using a portion of it to educate people within a certain community, so maybe Africa or wherever our passion or our purpose is for a particular area, but there will be a portion of it that will go towards educating people, even in America, people who don't necessarily have access to immediate help or education. Another portion of it, we talked about a portion going to creating centers or counseling centers or coaching centers to help people overcome any trauma or any issues that they've encountered in their lives. A place where they would go to seek counseling or therapy, either in Africa or America. And then we talked about using a portion to create water supply. In Africa, someone touched on the fact that
More like $2 million.
someone touched on the fact that that's a legacy that their mother had, and they would be having $1 million would definitely be something that would enable them to carry that on, and creating water supply in different parts of different remote areas in Africa where people will be able to use for farming and just their daily use. And some other people also touched on using a portion of it for, well, we talked about conferences or education. So the last portion would be more for leadership training and development. There are some people within our group that have a passion for raising leaders and raising the next Joshua. So they would like to use a certain portion of that to do that. So I think I captured everything. Thank you.
So I'm just gonna ask for everyone to take less than a minute. So I'm gonna, no problem, no, that was really good, but just less than a minute, just because of time. I think Flavor.
Hi. So on our table, we said, well, it's a lot of stuff to do. $1 million to cover it, but we said we'll use some of it to fund scholarships for women to go to school, obviously, so that they don't have to think about the student loans that they have to come out and have to pay. We also talked about feeding the world's poor, just giving women food, just the basic things, water, good water, food, just the little things that we do take for granted. Another thing we talked about was building a school for young girls, and it won't just be a regular curriculum. It will be like relationships, building self-esteem, their confidence level and all that. So another thing we touched was building a shelter for abused women and battered women who have been through things and, just need someone to talk to and someone to be there. So I think that was it. That's the
Good morning. My name is Tola. Some people call me Funke. I'm new, so might as well do that. Okay, so our table, we kind of had a theme going on. For us, less than a minute, I have to keep that in mind. We wanted to make sure that people that aren't as fortunate as we are get help. So for instance, someone had shared about a story that came out on CNN about Africans that were going through Libya to get to Europe. And so they were captured in Libya and then sold as slaves for about $500. And so one of the things that we had talked about was using the $1 million to get people together, so to rally people in the diaspora to go back home and create kind of create jobs for them. So create a center that we could create jobs in terms of training people, training these people. They don't necessarily have to go to university or whatever, so vocational training or some kind of training, so that's our feeder source, and then giving them, linking them up with job opportunities, because Nigeria is a big country. So that was one aspect that we talked about, and that would create a cycle of employment, of training, but then what we would also love to provide with that $1 million is also some kind of insurance, things that we take for granted, so health insurance, and just things that can help them on that journey. Outside of that, someone also talked about helping out more the community, and at that point I will go.
Wow, so the Spirit of the Lord is definitely one in this place, because everybody's talking about developing people. So our group also has the same desire, professional development, and then we wanted to take that in another way. We wanted to make sure that we had a cycle that fed itself continuously. So not only are we training people, but we're also investing in people. So we know and we understand that this world is moving towards technology, and so technology is key. The more faces that look like this, whether it's women or just black faces or people of color in the world of technology, the way it'll be easier for us to change our status in the world. And so taking that money, training people from a very, very young age, and then investing in them. So creating an incubator source, because what happens when your $1 million runs out, right? So once you train your people, you invest in them, and you continuously have a source to invest in people. Do the leadership training, do the diaspora, because we have someone who has a strong thesis in bringing the diaspora back to our nation and getting rid of that brain drain. So eliminating that source in that way. And I think that's the quickest way I can say it. Thanks.
We have 1 minute each, please. 1 minute each, please.
Hello. Basically, our group, I can say we all agreed that most of the money that we receive from the $1 million would go towards those that are less fortunate, building schools for families in like Nigeria and other less fortunate countries, and education for kids that need scholarships and don't have enough money to fund their schooling, and taking care of personal loans, like if you have your own personal loans, and one young lady said she'll give, buy candy and help the poor. So, thank you.
So we decided that we'd pay tithe first, obviously, and then after that we would focus on empowering women in developing countries. We decided that would help with vocational skills. We narrowed it down to sewing for the fashion industry, so we'd sponsor classes for females to learn how to sew, and would also a certain percentage of proceeds from our business would go into educational foundations for helping young women that are trying to get an education.
All right, ladies, that's awesome. So it just shows everyone has unique passions, and their ideas and imaginations are far beyond. And we already know imagination will take you far, because God has already placed that idea within you, rather.